back in 1984 on centre court. He's there again 18 years later, but he's in the commentary box. He's standing by to commentate on the ladies' singles match.
First set.
Sue, thank you very much. Perhaps a surgeon could give a more accurate view of the prospects of this match than Pat Cash and I, but we'll do our best. Philippoussis, 3 times a quarter-finalist at Wimbledon, serving the first point.
Love. Love.
81 aces from Mark Philippoussis in his 3 matches so far. None yet in this match, but 40 love first game.
Philippoussis. First game.
Well, I suppose it's no great surprise to see 4 big serves coming down and no returns coming back.
Yeah, 81 aces from Philippoussis, 60 from Richard Krajicek. Perhaps too many double faults from Mark Philippoussis, but he goes for his second serve.
That first serve percentage is crucial.
Love.
And Krajicek doesn't serve as many aces, but I think the serve is equally as good as Philippoussis. No doubt about that.
All.
Pat, this is probably the most copied service action in the game of tennis, isn't it, Richard Krajicek?
It's absolutely, virtually absolutely perfect technically. I've certainly tried to copy it.
14-15.
So many beautiful assets about it, particularly his feet. I don't know where to start, actually. I think I'll have a good look at it later.
I can't believe that he's moved
40-30.
as well as he has done over the course of the first 3 matches. Perhaps an advantage that they didn't get on court yesterday. 1 extra day's rest.
Well, that was just brutally hard return.
Yes.
But this one here, it was going way out, but straight at Krajicek, he couldn't get out of the way of it. And that's what Philippoussis does. His second shot, one after the return, is incredibly hard.
Advantage, Krajicek. One game per set.
So pushed a deuce in the first game. There's Nick on the right-hand side, Mark Philippoussis' dad. David Felgate to the right, now working for one of the big management agencies. Peter McNamara is coach.
Left. Lot 15.
Well, we're going to see a few of those, aren't we? As we see the Dutch connection. He's Rowan Gertzka, their coach in the cap. And far left is, not sure actually, come to think of it. Thought of somebody else. I had a second look.
Looked a bit like Mervyn Rose.
I know, it's a good mo though.
See
a few of those as well. Double fault, ace. It's whether Krajicek can make enough returns to put the pressure on the Philippoussis' second serve to force him to keep going for more and more, therefore producing double faults. Well, they really can come any time with Philippoussis. Well, definitely hit the line. And Krajicek's not so sure. Well, that's also Philippoussis' favourite ground stroke. There's a forehand across court. He'll use that at some stages when, certainly when running for a passing shot. Of course, most of the time when you're running for a wide forehand, you have to cover down the line. It's the obvious one.
Hasn't lost a point when he's got a first serve in so far in this match.
That was Game Philippoussis. Philippoussis leads 2-1 for set.
So for many people, this was the pick of the fourth round matches. That's the last 16 at Wimbledon. Both players getting into the second week. That's what they will have been aiming for. This is how Marc Philippoussis has got to this position. Julien Bouter, big hitting Frenchman out on court 13, was the first victim. 6-3, 3-6, 6-1, 6-2. So comfortable in the end for Philippoussis. He had to work hard over the first couple of sets. I thought quite a surprising result, beating Thomas Enquist in straight sets. And a win over Nicholas Kiefer, having lost the first set in the third round, 3-6, 6-3, 6-4, 6-2. This is Krajicek's way through. Franco Scolari represented a first victory in over 18 months at any level of tennis. So he was back, and the victory over James Blake was inspirational. 6-3, 6-4, 3-6, 4-6, 11-9. And there was all sorts of physical problems at the end of that. He was only able to swim the next day.
Time.
Paradorn Srikapan had beaten Andre Agassi, so there was a break for Richard Krajicek.
This is an amazing effort, actually, not Krajicek. I mean, he hasn't played at all. He's been out with elbow problems, surgery. You know, to come back and win 3 matches at Wimbledon, including 11-9 in the 5th set, it's just absolutely fantastic. A lot of respect for a player who can make comebacks like that after injuries. Having had many myself, I'll tell you, it's not easy. That makes him so deadly, that second shot.
Love 15.
One of the best in the world at it.
Oh!
Fifteen all. Thirty, 15.
Well, he was taken to juice on his first service game, and now 30 all. Philippoussis has made the best start to this fourth round match in terms of getting the ball back into play. And he's got him again.
Thirty, 40.
I could have gone either way, Philippoussis. When you take that bigger swing, and you know it's going to be a hard shot, it's a line break point.
Left for serve. Deuce.
Can get frustrating. You can play a good game, you get break point, and then 122-mile-an-hour serve like a bullet coming from 6'6".
The first volley.
Advantage, Krajicek.
If Krajicek is hitting his first volley well, he is virtually impossible to break.
Yeah, it's absolutely right. So it's crucial for Philippoussis to get him down, bend those sore legs, which at that 11-9 in the 5th set, he's got to be a little bit tired, having not played any matches for, what was it, 20 months? not sure whether
2
he
games
exactly
all.
meant this,
A set.
but he was in trouble again. He went to angle up there, but I think it just went a little bit better than he expected.
Perfect miss hit.
Top of the frame, yep, right on the top of the frame. That'll do, no complaints though.
$15 love. $30 love.
See, the balls are nice and slow through the air this year, Pat, like everyone's been saying.
Yes, yeah, of course, slowing the balls down, the court down makes it a real lot of difference, doesn't it? Makes the guys scared to hit at volleys. Doesn't stop the serves though.
$40 love. Okay, Philippoussis. Philippoussis leads 3 games to 2. A set.
Mark Philippoussis unable to play last year, but a quarter-finalist the 3 years before that. It takes a very fine player to beat Mark Philippoussis at Wimbledon. In '98 in the quarter-final he lost to Sampras, '99 quarter-final lost to Sampras, and 2000 he lost to Andre Agassi. Unable to play last year because he's had 3 bouts of knee surgery. But a fine Grand Slam record. Most people, I think, Pat, in Australia by now would have said, certainly 5 or 6 years ago, that he was likely to have won a Grand Slam. His chance came in the 1997 US Open, but there was another Aussie waiting for him in the final. Brilliant serve volley of Pat Rafter on the hard courts.
Yeah, I was working with Philippoussis then, along with Gavin Hopper, and you know, Mark put a huge effort in to that year in '98, '99,
Time.
and was injured towards the end of '99, and hasn't lived up to his potential. Here we go, Wimbledon, that big win in 1996, beating Pete Sampras and breaking up that great run. Semi-finals, French Open, '93.
When he has time on his ground strokes, he hits them very well.
Absolutely. But the crucial thing for Krajicek is to try and get his ground strokes returns going here today. He's going to have any chance of breaking Philippoussis. What a great serve.
$15.
Yeah, that is absolutely perfect. Talk about a serve into the body. If you're going to hit it right there. Even hit the line and check back a little bit. Yeah, another great serve. If you look at the speeds of these serves,
$30.
you know, those last two serves were about 100 miles an hour. Not quick, but absolutely perfectly placed. Very clever server. Philippoussis is just pure power. That's not slow. 120 miles an hour. But he serves similar way to Greg Krajicek. A lot of thinking, mixing the pace up, slice, flat, the whole works.
$40-15.
Krajicek might think very carefully about where he puts his first volley next
40,
time.
30.
Philippoussis has the intention of burying every forehand today, seemingly.
Every second shot he's just going to go for.
Oh, that's nice.
3 games on, first set.
From Richard Krajicek there. Nice sensible forehand to finish the game. Sampras won 3 Wimbledons before Krajicek's 1996, and he won 4 Wimbledons after Krajicek's 96. But Krajicek was too good that day on centre court. I remember it, 3 straight sets. A couple of mishits at crucial times. Fortune favours the bold.
That's a very telling percentage there. It tells you about these players. 64% first serves Krajicek. He's going for percentages, accuracy. Philippoussis 36%, just blasting as hard as he can. Not bad second serve.
15 love.
I've seen you hit a couple like that, mate.
It's unbelievable, isn't it? And he hits the ball just as hard when he's serving with a wooden racket. They did an experiment. Only a 2 or 3 kilometers per hour difference. Pure timing.
$15 all.
Well, may not be as deadly off the second shot, but gee, moved well to this one and placed it perfectly. Philippoussis is a little slow getting across. But, maybe because of his fitness or his speed, his knees have been playing up the last couple of years. And that's where you can tell, getting back into the court. Not so much from A to B, straight ahead line, but recovery. He's a big guy and he has to go down low and get back up quickly. Now, what's going to happen here? Oh, that's a great serve. We're expecting an ace or a double fault, but that's the part of Philippoussis' game that's matured over the last few years. He used to just go for that. So the hit or miss. That time putting a little bit of spin on it. Keep getting it nice and deep.
I never thought I'd see Richard Krajicek look old-fashioned, but the way he's chipping that backhand back and trying to get the volley to volley up. Krajicek changed tennis a little bit in the early 90s. He came in with his massive game, and here he is, poking the ball around quite effectively. Game point, though, to Philippoussis. Netcourt took it out.
Deuce.
It's a flick of the wrist. Look at that. It was a winner if it didn't clip the top.
Advantage Philippoussis.
.85 for the tournament. Bound to go over 100 during this match.
Game, Philippoussis. Philippoussis leads 4 games to 3, first set.
So Krajicek serving with new tennis balls at 3-4 first set.
$15. $30. $40. $40-15.
Oh!
Well, clever play from Krajicek. Trying to get
30.
Philippoussis to move forward. Yeah, I suppose he was covering the line, but it wasn't that far away from him. But it was hard enough to get past.
Yeah, it's a wonderful volley.
Four games on, first set.
Just a little lift across court, nice and deep into the corner. Bit of a cheeky one.
Yeah, it was cheeky, very risky as well. The best thing to do, if you had the energy, would be get down behind the ball, and it works.
$15.
I'm wondering if it was a lazy shot from Krajicek.
It does hurt to get down, doesn't it? Well, it hurts getting back up again.
Yeah. And he's had a lot of matches, and I'll tell you what, sprinting into the net all of a sudden, first time in 20 months, takes a lot out of you. Forehand may not be as powerful as Philippoussis, but Krajicek's forehand is a very, very good shot. And Philippoussis is going to be a little wary of it. He's going to try and serve wide on this side occasionally, but basically going to keep peppering the Krajicek backhand. He's just going to poke the ball back, trying to get the ball down. It's not going to frighten Philippoussis that much.
$30-15.
That's brutal.
$40-15. Game. Philippoussis. Philippoussis leads 5 games to 4, first set.
So 5 holds of serve to 4 in the current situation. Both players have had a bit of a sniff at the other's serve, but nothing giving so far. Mark Philippoussis, by far the most consistent Grand Slam year after year for him, has been Wimbledon, although he was in that US Open final. Wonder what the Davis Cup situation is now in Australia. Cashy will know.
Well, I think when you lose Pat Rafter, it puts a big hole in your team. Even though Philippoussis wasn't 100% fit last year, with Rafter they got to the final. Should have, I suppose, beaten France in Melbourne on grass. Wasn't to beat, but Philippoussis is back and fit now, and I'm sure he'll be getting a few calls from John Fitzgerald and the coach, Wally Massour.
Time.
A fit Mark Philippoussis is pretty deadly. I wouldn't say single-handedly, but certainly won his 2 matches on the clay to beat France a couple of years ago in the final. Just destroyed the French on their own surface.
Ably backed up by a very young Leighton Hewitt at the time. Don't think he lost a match in that campaign.
Lot 15.
Got a Dutch-Australia matchup at the very top of the draw in the quarterfinals. Leighton Hewitt against Sheng Schalken. This is a last 16 match, playing for a place in the quarters.
Left first serve.
Oh, Australia and Holland could play the other World Cup, isn't it? No, neither of us qualified. Bit more of a shock, I think, to the Dutch.
I'd say so.
Oh dear.
It's a bad one.
Oh, Philippoussis is ready now.
Lot 30.
The ball kicked, Philippoussis didn't pick it and just got caught. Came at his body, floated a little bit.
Left first serve. Left second serve.
Well, only that great volley kept Philippoussis out of that point. Because we know how deadly his second shot is. If there was anything shorter than that, he would have been in trouble. He was almost in trouble anyway. Wasn't far off.
Left first serve.
Well, that's another tremendous first volley. Setting up the easy overhead.
30.
It was so close to being called out. Philippoussis is still looking at it. I think it hit the chalk and hopped straight up. What a couple of tight volleys.
Off second serves both times. Krajicek could use a first. It's not often he misses 3 in a row.
40-30.
Well, percentage will show you that he doesn't miss too many in a row.
Left for third.
And then you've got serving percentage around that. You just got to keep believing that if you miss a couple, they're going to come.
Deuce.
Well, the heat is on once again for Krajicek. Loves 30. He was down in this game, got himself up a game point, misses a volley. This is a tussle for him.
Advantage Krajicek. Game Krajicek. Five games off for set.
Well, that was the great escape as far as Krajicek was concerned. Got the Orange Army in the crowd to go along with half of Australia here on court one. 11,000 people in total fit in here. And they were doing the wave before the players came out. Eagerly anticipated fourth round clash.
Love.
He's going to have trouble all day hitting passing shots off that backhand consistently. Forehand's a different story.
Love. $30-15.
Four aces, two doubles for each player.
$40-15. Philippoussis. Philippoussis leads 6-5 first set.
Yeah, that's right, I think.
Rivalry between these two stretches back to 1995. Played 5 times. Krajicek leads 3-2 in the head-to-head. Haven't played on grass before. They first played in Tokyo indoor, the Metropolitan Gymnasium in Tokyo, all the way back in 1995. Paris indoor in 1999 was the last time they played. Philippoussis winning those 2. But on clay, the 3 times they played in the middle, Krajicek too good. And Philippoussis is no mean clay courter himself. don't know why they don't just start these two at maybe, what, 4 games all, Pat? And we'll play best of 9 sets with a tiebreak at 6 all.
There was talk about, actually, they experimented with the first to 4 game sets, didn't they, at one stage, and certainly on the satellite tours or the Challenger tours.
You know what those are, don't you?
No idea.
That's a womble.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I heard about them. I haven't found any.
You can go wombling on Wimbledon Common, Pat.
Ah.
Your kids would know.
And Krajicek serving to stay in this set.
Love 15.
And that's the womble wave.
The Wimbledon womble wave. Okay. I'm getting the hang of it now.
Now, bad start for Krajicek in this game.
Love 30.
Well, Philippoussis just has to connect with one big return, or big passing shot. Krajicek will be having a look for the unreturnable serves.
Oh, it's a wonderful first volley again, following the same pattern as in his previous service game.
He's almost better on the second serve, isn't he? Because
15,
look where he
30.
gets. That ball's bouncing high. Philippoussis is a long way back. Look, well inside the service line. That's quite an easy volley.
That's another beautiful volley.
So Philippoussis is trying to give himself a little extra fraction of a second by standing back. The problem is that's letting Krajicek get a little bit closer to the net. Particularly here on the second serve, Philippoussis tends to run back. Let's see if he's going to do it this time. Nope. Well, Tim Henman, Pat Rafter, eat your heart out.
40-30.
Oh, what a big point. 30 all, trying to stay in the set. A spin on that.
He's enjoying himself.
It's like out of a bunker, that, isn't it? It's a golf shot. Not that I would know, because I hit the bottom edge of all mine. See, that's the better position for Philippoussis. As long as he can get it away from Krajicek.
Deuce.
It's coming back too quickly for him to change directions.
Advantage Krajicek.
Well, he's the only man left in this draw who really knows what it's like to win Wimbledon. And he's bringing a lot of experience to bear at the end of this first set.
Well, a bit of a miss hit.
Deuce.
Philippoussis apologises. That's the way it goes. Back to deuce. Gives himself another chance to break the serve.
Pot.
Perfect volley.
Krajicek.
Krajicek mishit that, didn't he? He thought it was going out, and it dropped. There's a wry smile on his face. Thinking, well, I completely mishit that one.
Well, if the ball hit within a foot of the line, he thought that was a mistake. Krajicek hitting the line. Didn't mean to.
Game Krajicek.
So a little over 3/4 of an hour played.
6 games all. First set, tiebreak.
Now, I know you're surprised at the fact that we're having a tiebreaker here, Andy. Who do you see?
Well, Krajicek has dodged a bullet in his last 2 service games, and what tends to happen in tiebreaks is, well, anything happens in tiebreaks. I think Krajicek will feel fortunate to have got here in a way.
Didn't answer my question.
Oh, I didn't.
1-0,
You're good at
Philippoussis.
this.
I like sitting on the fence.
You should work. You should work on TV. You're good at this sort of stuff, interviewing
Thanks,
people.
mate.
Well, I think my money's on Philippoussis. He's made more returns.
Philippoussis.
Oh!
Yes. Doing what you wanted, Pat. Stepping forward and letting it rip.
3-0, Philippoussis.
And that would have been a winner against anybody. Certainly a slightly match-weary Richard Krajicek. Well, did the right thing, had to pick a side.
4-0,
It's got a wingspan.
Philippoussis.
I'll tell you, most probably 8 or 9 times out of 10 a player gets in that position, he'll go cross court. Philippoussis knows that.
Philippoussis.
Philippoussis hasn't played a tiebreak this tournament so far, which is hard to believe. But he plays them very well. A 5-point advantage.
Philippoussis.
A free swing from Mark Philippoussis there. It didn't connect, but it sent out a pretty clear message to Krajicek that if he misses his first serve, he's going to have something thrown back at him with some heat. Krajicek serving now, having changed ends. 1 point to 5.
Philippoussis. Left for serve. 6-2, Philippoussis.
Four set points, Philippoussis.
Game of first set, Philippoussis.
So Philippoussis winning the first set on a tie-break after a little over 50 minutes
7-6.
of fairly brutal tennis, it has to be said. Philippoussis making most of the headway against the Krajicek serve, had the momentum going into the tie-break and converted it with a very, very quick start. He's become quite philosophical about things, as Philippoussis. He was in a wheelchair last year, returning or trying to return from knee surgery, and that can be very, very demoralizing.
You're telling me.
I'm looking at you.
Yeah. It can be. It's a good effort. He's had some articular cartilage problems, which is sort of the coating around the bone that have been scraped down. And he's had some experimental surgeries. We'll have a look at the stats in the first set. Krajicek's service percentage is slightly better. Philippoussis is winning more serves on that first serve. And
just the one break point.
Yeah, there's not certainly not going to be much in this. But for both players, it's crucial because they don't have the day rest tomorrow. They're coming straight out against either Krajicek or Melis. It's a cool day, so they're not going to be fatigued because of the heat. But certainly in Krajicek's case, he doesn't want to get into a 5-set scrapping match. So it's absolutely crucial for Krajicek to get this set. And it's also crucial for Philippoussis, who has always had a question mark about his fitness, about his endurance, and about his agility as well, especially after the knee surgery.
Second set, Krajicek to serve.
Well, you don't have to leave us here, but over on the other channel, Greg Krajicek in action against Xavier Melis. Bit of a shootout that will be. Players about to walk on centre court.
Well, he hasn't been happy with his volleys, even the ones that he has had in as a couple of mishits. Trying to chip the ball back.
15.
But I'm not a believer that you can actually consistently chip back a big hard first serve.
Even though you did it consistently.
No, I blocked the ball.
You hit flat ball.
I hit the flat ball. You give it the full face of the racket. When you start to come underneath it, it's so easy to float the ball up. And we've seen so many very high, easy volleys here from these guys. Key to being a successful returner of a big serve is be able to block the ball back at the feet and then have a go at the second serve.
30-14.
Right, bad time for a double fault from Richard Krajicek there. His third, and it's brought up a break point to Philippoussis, his second of the match.
Deuce.
Do you know, I believe Mark Philippoussis just missed the ball completely. Look at this. Ball did slow down a little bit off the court.
It did, must have caught a funny bounce. Make you feel better at home. I once saw Ian Woosnam top a ball as well in the tournament. Duffed it about 20 feet. I thought, fantastic. He's coming in now inside the court.
Advantage Philippoussis.
And he's not giving Krajicek any time to get in or move. See where he is? He's behind the service line this time at the break point.
Deuce.
Another great serve.
2 aces when he's been breakpoint down in this opening game of the second set for Richard Krajicek, but one gets the feeling that he's running out of steam. He needs to win the first 2 or 3 service games. It's a great return.
Advantage, Philippoussis. Deuce.
Didn't catch much of that one either, Pat.
Right in the line. That one stopped.
Advantage, Krajicek. Deuce.
The last thing Krajicek wants, as you said, Andy, is a long service game. He was kind of slow back, wasn't he?
He's exhausted.
Advantage, Krajicek.
He's a bit moving gingerly around the court, isn't he? Can't seem to get down. Philippoussis knew he had the chance.
Krajicek. First game, second set.
Oh, Krajicek has been tested on each of his last 3 service games towards the end of the second set and the first game of this. Philippoussis.
That's interesting. Sorry, interrupt you, mate. Interesting stat there. Returns in. Look at Krajicek's consistently making headway, and that's on the second serve and on the first serve as well. And as I said, you've got to try and get the first serve back and make damage on the second serve, and Krajicek is actually doing worse on the second serve.
Love 15. Left for serve.
Well, it says it all.
15 all.
Can't make that second serve, can he? He's not doing very well. Finally gets the ball where he wants it. Short on the forehand.
30-15. Sergio. Ah. 40-30.
And that's a big serve, 117 with all the slice on it. Of course, the slice will slow the ball down. Not much, 117.
Philippoussis. 1 game, second set.
Been on court just over an hour now. Not the greatest spectacle, it has to be said, but small nuances, just the difference between these two. Philippoussis just managing to lay his racket on a few more of those Krajicek serves than vice versa. Well, he's more than just laying his racket on it. He's getting a really good hit on that backhand side, reading it very nicely, and Krajicek consistently throwing in those second serves around about the 94 mark. No problem for Philippoussis.
Fifteen all. Thirty, 15. Forty, 15.
Starting to get frustrating for Krajicek because Philippoussis is really getting hold of that second serve. And as we know, the second shot of his is seriously deadly. He's just not happy about the way he's volleying.
Well, he's getting a consistent read on that backhand side, isn't he?
Deuce.
And at some stage, it's going to turn itself into a break of serve. There's an inevitability about it. Well, it takes strength, but timing as well.
Advantage Philippoussis.
I never thought I'd be saying that Richard Krajicek's serve is just sitting there waiting to be hit, but it certainly is at the moment. Philippoussis has got his rhythm. He's not hitting above 100 miles an hour. There's another break point. There's that second serve, first serve he wanted so badly.
Deuce.
Philippoussis just trying to slice it back into play. As I said, it's tough to do. Ball's coming over 120 miles an hour at you. Much easier to block it.
There it is again. It doesn't have to come out of the centre of the racket. It's just got strength behind it. And that reverse backhand brings up yet another break point.
Philippoussis.
He actually, against James Blake, he had blood filling up in his big toenails, underneath the toenail, and he had to have it lanced or pierced. And it's revolting, isn't it?
No,
Stop
pretty
eating
common.
that chocolate.
Sorry.
Did have trouble with that. And shoulder, of course.
Nobody would have known I was eating chocolate at home until you mentioned it. I don't eat chocolate, it's not, it's energy bar.
I just didn't want to turn you off with all these medical conditions. I believe this particular problem today for Richard Krajicek is one that he's had many times before, a shoulder problem. He's got virtually a perfect action. Imagine if he had a bad action with all that power. He's made it to 31 and he's still playing.
I think it's just overuse. Poor body's gone into shock, I think, after 20 months of sitting on the sidelines.
First serve.
Philippoussis serving with a break of serve at 2-1 in the second set.
$15. $13.
Well, that is simply an enormous serve, isn't it? Not giving Krajicek a look in.
$40. Philippoussis.
133 miles an hour, straight down the middle, and here comes Bill Norris.
So he does need
Ladies and gentlemen, will be medical timeout for Mr. Krajicek.
he does need a timeout. He can't continue to play. So he has to stop now. And I'll tell you what, I don't blame him for not going after that serve. He put his racket on that, would rip my arm off. I mean. The lowest shoulder I've ever seen. I'm surprised he's not bending too well.
Hamstring, internal adductor, everything under great strain when you're getting down low to the ball and then having to get back up again.
Is that legally okay?
Yeah, shoulder, we can do it on the... So we'll do this on the injury timeout right now.
Okay, so 2 different injuries Bill Norris has been alerted to. And here comes Andy Jarrett from the referee's office, former British Davis Cup player. He will adjudicate on this situation. I think that he might have to get some of his tennis kit off, and that's why they'll go and treat him off court. If it is internal adductor or possibly hamstring, that tends to be quite high up the leg.
So there'll be a room back there where they can go into. Philippoussis tries to keep warm. It's quite cool out there and breezy as well. He's in a great position. I don't think he's going to be too worried about it.
Oh, he's going to be loving life, isn't he, at a set and a break up.
His opponent's gone off with 2 injuries. Of course, the trainer made that pretty clear. He says he's got 2 injuries, the leg and the shoulder. So Philippoussis will be sitting there going, perfect. I'd like a nice quick match, please, because I haven't got the day off tomorrow.
And Team Philippoussis will be loving this as well. Peter McNamara, who's been in England, based just north of London for quite some time. He's going to be heading back down to Melbourne. I think he's found a plot of land. I know he's sold over here, so he'd better hurry up. He's #1 seed in the old man's doubles this year with Paul McNamee, the referee at the Australian Open. There's Peter. He had a pretty solid chip backhand return, didn't he?
Oh, yeah. Nice block. Big, one of the best backhands there was in the game. Beaten #1 players in the world, Lendl. I'm not sure if he's beaten McEnroe.
One of the funniest columnists, I think, in the United Kingdom, Jeremy Clarkson. But read him in the Times every Sunday. Oh, at this point, Pat Cash goes to the bag. And
well, if we're plugging literature, I have to blatantly plug the autobiography.
Literature. Literature.
Literature. Yeah.
Where's the rubbish bin? Is that where you got your books out of? So you didn't actually write that book, did you? Tell me the truth.
Yeah, I half wrote it. Yeah.
You were on the telephone and somebody else wrote it for you.
No, that's not true.
Okay.
Not entirely true.
Well, I spoke to Barry Flatman. He said it was.
Yeah, he would though, wouldn't he?
He's doing okay out of it. How is the book going?
I don't know.
The response?
Well, the response is big, but certainly in Australia it's created a few dramas. And
nice serialization.
Got a few nasty looks from Nick Philippoussis. There's a couple of stories about him in there. My coaching days with Mark.
Do you think she knows she's on TV? Either that or she knows somebody on the other side of the stadium.
No, Pat took it to the right. Now down a little bit.
This is the new boyfriend being introduced, is it?
Oh, she better not tell her husband.
Yeah, let's close in. Yes, there they are. That's
yes, hi.
That's it's a great atmosphere out on #1 court. They were doing the wave, then they did the slow wave, which is a new variation on the phenomena, right before Philippoussis and Krajicek took to the court. Of course, Greg Krajicek is playing a 5th and final set against Xavier Malisse in the last 16 over on centre court. So if you fancy it, you could get over to centre and have a look at that one.
If I was Philippoussis, I'd be up there and jumping up and down a bit, trying to keep the legs warm. He's had to sit down for a couple of minutes. Yeah, good idea. Out he comes. He knows that he's probably only got another minute, and then he's going to have to start getting a time warning.
Must be a great sense of relief to him to be fit. He's had all his problems. Krajicek has had a couple of problems in the last 3 or 4 minutes. Well, at least he's walking.
Yeah, he might not be moving the best, but he's out there. He's going to give it a shot. What he needs to do is produce a few decent backhand returns. Of course, the coaches aren't allowed anywhere near the players. That's why the officials go off. So there's no coaching.
Krajicek serving then at 1-3, second set. So Krajicek has taken treatment for a hamstring strain. He'll get a shoulder rub down at the next change of ends. Things not looking good for the Dutch challenge. Sensational judge from Richard Krajicek off a back-spinning return of serve.
14-15.
Actually, he came over that a little bit, so it was helping the volley. But that's magnificent. 2 game points.
$40-30. Philippoussis leads 3-2. Second set, number 1 set to love.
Seems like Bill Norris has been around for years. He was with the US Davis Cup team in the 70s. Now, he's already administered 1 injury timeout off the court for a hamstring injury. Just a strain, most likely. We thought that he might be coming on court to administer some treatment for the shoulder now. Actually on the court, but Krajicek electing perhaps not to take it. He's held together with sticky tape, this fella. th Wimbledon for Richard Krajicek, 31 years of age. He's made $10 million, Pat, in his career, prize money, but he's only made $3,000 this year.
Yeah, that's right. As I said, it's been a fantastic effort for him to come back and do as well as he has. Of course, he has had the elbow problem, and I think, well, it looks at the strength in his leg, even though he may have a hamstring strain. I think he's obviously worked very hard on his fitness away from the court. And he can't get away from an elbow problem, but he certainly can run a lot of miles and get in the gym and build up the legs.
Krajicek's been saying it's restful to play because he's got a 4-year-old Emma and a 2-year-old Alec at home. It's quite relaxing to get into a hotel room. I think he might want to reassess that at this point, setting a breakdown. That's nicely done after a simple
15
return of serve.
I tell you what, it's got to have a lot of touch to get over this big fella. Over the backhand side, which is good. Philippoussis had to come across and then jump. He does have a terrific jump. He can slam dunk the ball in basketball. Great athlete. Good soccer player. Kicks an Aussie rules ball a fair old distance as well. Not to mention the golf ball. Whew.
$15-30.
If he was any good at football, soccer, he'd be in your national team. He can't be that good.
No. Well, we got a couple of decent players. I remember Harry Kuehl, isn't it? And a couple of Leeds players.
15-30.
We've got Viduka as well.
Viduka.
And Bosnich. I suppose 3 players don't make a team, do they? A bit lucky or unlucky, depends on which way you look at it. I suppose it was never going to beat Philippoussis, that shot. He was always going to have a play on it. Could have dropped dead if Krajicek had been lucky.
That's wonderful serving. Aces in double figures now. And that was a very good time to serve it. But this game's serving as a reminder to Philippoussis and his supporters that he's only 1 break of serve up in this second set.
Philippoussis leads 4-2. Second set.
Well, he holds onto the break, and again, Krajicek, he's not really doing enough on the returns. Just pushing their second serve back on the backhand. He's got a break serve now. It's a bit like, I suppose, being in football. All of a sudden, you're a goal behind. You've got to start attacking. You've got to start having a go.
Love 15.
The returns in. Philippoussis 59 on the first serve, which is pretty good. 72 on the second. And look at Krajicek's. That's way, way, way too low. Way down.
$15. $30-15.
Just skidding through a little bit. Making it difficult to get underneath.
$40-15. $40-30.
Well, there's a few double faults creeping in. 5, but only 6 aces, which is quite unusual for Krajicek. His shoulder is hampering him.
Philippoussis leads 4 games to 3. Second set, number 1 set to love.
Well, still no sign of Bill Norris coming on to this number 1 court. Perhaps Krajicek saving him up for a rainy day. Weather expected to take a turn for the worse later on once again. We were blessed in the first week. It's made the courts very firm, a little bit dusty at the back of the court. There's been a little bit of criticism at times about them. But I think it was a great help to Richard Krajicek in the first week that the conditions were so kind to the tournament. You don't want 3 long matches with the weather cold when you've had as much surgery as he has. The scar tissue hurting, muscles.
It's a fine line, isn't it? You just want it nice and warm, but for the muscles, for the body, but you don't want it so warm that it really saps the energy out of you, especially when you haven't played many matches.
Yeah, it was 6 weeks ago he was going to quit. He just said, I'm not going to go on with this. I just can't handle it anymore. And Rowan Gertzger, and he really fell out for the first time in 11 years. A wonderful relationship that they had. Brotherly relationship. And
time.
Rowan's a good mate of mine. He grew up around the corner.
Yeah, he was introduced, wasn't he, by Ian Barclay?
Yeah, coached by my coach. We used to play against each other. And we've stuck together for a long time. A bit like... very rare, actually. It's
very rare.
These days, coaches come and go very quickly.
Philippoussis then serving at a set and 4-3 up. There's a roar from another court. Tune into BBC One for more on that.
$15.
This court is a long way away from the, or fair way away from the centre court, but the players will be aware when the roars go up, especially they know, these guys here know that their opponent is in there. The big roars, of course, are going to be for the Brit. Having a bit of a wild slap. He's might as well have a bit of a go at some of these. He needs to break out of this pattern and pushing the ball around.
Philippoussis leads 5 games to 3. Second set.
Well, the roars that you can hear are for the action taking place on centre court over on BBC One. Henman Hill is very close to this number 1 court. It's right behind it. That's where the noise is coming from.
$15. 30 love.
Well, staying with him. So Krajicek needs to do. Needs to make Philippoussis serve it out. Oh, that is just terrific. Just a flick of the wrist. He's saying, how did that get over there, over my head?
I've not seen one of these before. This is going backwards, just wrist only, just turning it over with the arm. Oh, what? No way.
It's a great shot, isn't it?
$40-15.
It does look like a badminton racket in his hand, a tennis racket.
Again, Krajicek.
So a pretty emphatic ending to that particular game. Krajicek hangs in, but that's all he's been doing for the last hour or so. We've been in court, what, an hour and 34 minutes. It's been Philippoussis for much of the time.
Yeah, Philippoussis has been in control basically the whole match. And, you know, Krajicek now needs to do something. Krajicek needs to do something to break Philippoussis' serve. He probably won't do anything drastic here, other than if he gets a second serve, he may have a little go at it. But as we see the scores coming up from the other court, the crowd are umming and ahhing every time. They'll flick it around now.
And top right there, David Felgate will be an interested spectator, sitting as he is between Nick Philippoussis and Peter McNamara. Now, he's got lots and lots of vested interests these days, working for one of the big management groups, but he used to coach Xavier Malisse right after he coached Tim Henman. So do you think beating Ruzetsky or seeing Ruzetsky lose would make him feel okay?
I don't think he'd be too bothered. He certainly has some conflicts with Greg Ruzetsky in the past. Then again, there's been very few people who haven't.
Philippoussis serving for a 2-set lead in this 4th round match. Had some success with that chip return, but you get the feeling at this point in the match that he needs to open his shoulders up and go for that backhand.
Well, if he doesn't get this set, he's got no option then to have a go at some of these. He just wants to make Philippoussis play and hope that the pressure will hurt him.
Left for serve.
And he's certainly not going to ease up on the serve by just getting it in. Philippoussis' way of dealing with nerves is just to hit the ball as hard as he can. Most of us would sort of push the ball around.
I see what you mean. That'll classify as a bad miss.
It is. I mean, he hardly ever misses a smash, Philippoussis.
Serving for a place in the quarterfinal of Wimbledon. Or 2-set lead. As good as, possibly. I wonder if that overhead miss is going to come back to haunt him at 15 love. The door is ajar for Krajicek to exert some pressure now. 15-30 Philippoussis.
30 off.
Well, you said it, Pat. Hit the ball harder when under pressure. That was 119-mile-an-hour second serve at deuce.
The problem is he doesn't have a belief in his volleys. He doesn't want the ball to come back. He doesn't believe that if the ball he believes if the ball comes back, he's going to miss it. That's incredible for such a good player, good volley technique. Here we go again. Well, who knows what he's going to do here.
Well done to Richard Krajicek. Absolutely out of nowhere, Krajicek breaks back with Philippoussis serving for a 2-set lead.
5 games off.
Well, that time he got the forehand. He can have a go at the forehand. He's willing, and that time had enough chance on the backhand. A great pickup.
I thought this was going out, possibly, this backhand.
It could have been. It was hit hard, and he was committed. Got a real match now, haven't we?
We have got a match. It's suddenly turned, hasn't it? Well done to Krajicek.
15 love.
Just making Philippoussis play enough balls to exert some pressure. Oh, yes.
Oh, again, boy, that's a good shot, isn't it? Boy. It was slightly slower. There's a little bit of a miss hit.
30 love.
Just cuts. Look how sharp he cuts underneath the ball. And the spin, look at it go sideways.
Exhibition tennis here on court 1. He's playing by memory.
40 love.
And I got the feeling that that actually hurt him. Not so much there, but after this next one, big lunge there, bam, that hurt.
Here, Krajicek. Krajicek leads 6-5, second set. First set, Philippoussis.
Well, that is a brave effort from Richard Krajicek. Now, Pat, and say, well, you played 3.5 matches. You've got to play another 3.5 if you want to win this tournament. I don't think you'd appreciate it.
Yes, he's probably very happy actually to be where he is, but now that he's here, he wants to take advantage of it. Tell you, 20 months without a win. Make you keen. Oh,
Hey, hey.
that's the one he looks for. That's the one he can hit. Usually off the second serve. Wasn't wide enough.
Love 15.
Look at that, just right in the slot.
Two clean winners in a row. Philippoussis under enormous pressure towards the end of this second set.
Love 30.
Well, that's the first time. The backhand winner. That really puts a warning signal into Philippoussis' head. He wants a double fault. Krajicek wants a double fault. Because if I can get him to hit a second serve, now he knows that I'm pounding that, pounding it, he'll go for too much. Oh, he had it.
Krajicek actually laughing after he hit that backhand.
15-30.
This could be such a pivotal point in this match.
Wow.
Great pickup.
That's an unbelievable pickup.
30.
And under extreme pressure, after that return, you'd be odds on for a double break point coming up. There's not to be. Let's go back to 30 all.
Sue, thank you very much. Philippoussis with a great pickup at 15-30
14-30.
off another superb Krajicek return of serve. Philippoussis hanging in. Bill Norris standing by. Nice and jovial as ever. He's already been on the court once to attend to Richard Krajicek's hamstring. This is a point for a tiebreak. So tiebreak it will be.
Surprise, surprise, another tiebreaker, but we've actually had a lot of drama in this set.
Well, it is surprise, surprise in this particular case, isn't it? Philippoussis with a set and a break, Krajicek with the trainer on court.
Looked like he could have even been defaulted, could have walked off. The injury, he wasn't too happy. This tiebreaker, momentum's going with Krajicek. He didn't even look like breaking serve until Philippoussis served for the set at 5-4. And Krajicek has let rip all of a sudden with 3 or 4 incredible returns. Been very tentative on his returns up to date.
Philippoussis took a 5-point to love lead in the first tiebreak. Rowan Goetzke with the white cap on. He's been with Krajicek for 11 years. Is this Wimbledon one final hurrah for him and his 1996 champion?
It's quite amazing.
2-1.
Krajicek's forehand is an absolutely fantastic shot. He hasn't had many opportunities to have a go, particularly on Philippoussis' serve. And then all of a sudden, in the last couple of games, the winners are starting to flow.
That's long. And he will be so disappointed. Krajicek now with this mini break. This is a set he desperately needs to win. He can't go 2 sets down and win in 5. Just not enough left in the tank.
Krajicek. 4-2, Krajicek.
Well, not really good enough for Philippoussis. For him to be almost unbeatable, he needs to be up around the 60% mark. Krajicek has been mixing the pace of his serve up. Slice, very accurate. Philippoussis is no surprise, just blasting as hard as he possibly can.
This men's draw last Wednesday took on the shape that you're seeing now with the loss of Safin, Sampras and Agassi. Equally as remarkable that day was Krajicek's win over James Blake, 11-9 in the fifth. And suddenly he's on the verge, Pat.
5-3, Krajicek.
Well, we all know how great his serve is. He's had elbow surgery. Has played one match in 20 months. Won one match in 20 months.
6-3.
He was very pleased to take Roger Federer to 7-5 in the second set, losing 6-2, 7-5 at Hertogenbosch right before this tournament. And now here he is, second week of Wimbledon, playing for a place in the quarterfinals. Philippoussis faces 3 set points.
Well, they're the shots
6-4.
that have been hitting the net the whole day until 15 minutes ago. He knows it. He's like, get the ball over the net. Got a set point, make him play. Or maybe just picking his eyebrows. Got a set point.
Game. Second set, Krajicek.
Well,
The seller. Fortila.
well, long rallies and stylish winners over on centre court from Justine Henin and Monica Seles. Here, a somewhat more brutal contest over on court 1. Mark Philippoussis and Richard Krajicek locked here, 4-all in the fourth set. Philippoussis has won 2 of the tie breaks played, tie breaks that he dominated from the word go, sets 1 and 3. Krajicek serving now at 4-all. We have 2 of the most envied service motions in the world of tennis out here today. Richard Krajicek, the 1996 champion, and Mark Philippoussis, 3 times a quarter-finalist.
13 all.
Well, it's at certain stages during the day. I mean, today it's 14 degrees out there. The first serves are coming through like bullets, as we expect. Lots of aces, but the second serves are sitting there a little bit. These guys are starting to get hold of second serves of their opponents.
14 all. Krajicek leads 5 games to 4, fourth set. Philippoussis leads 2 sets to 1.
Well, had a look at Wayne Arthurs yesterday against David Nalbandian. He lost that match to the Argentine. That's a beautiful service motion, but Richard Krajicek is probably the most copied and the most envied. It's absolutely pure, Pat.
It's so simple. I
Yeah.
mean, we've seen lots of knee bends and everything. I talk about Tim Henman's knee bend. Look at the lack of knee bend really here, and his feet position gets as much height as possible. His head comes through. Watch where his contact position is with as far as his body. Face on. Look at that. Completely face on. Now he can do that because he's not standing too side on. When you're side on, you tend to get more slice on the ball, or more spin on the ball. In actual fact, you're facing the wrong way. You're not facing the court. It's the fastest servers, Radzetsky, Ivanisevic, Krajicek. Not so much Philippoussis, he's brute power, but they contact the ball face onto the court. And Tim Henman has now gone more side on. He's getting less pace, more spin. That's working for him, but for Krajicek, it's face on and raw power for this man. Well, half a chance here. Krajicek uses that big forehand of his. That's his better shot. He has hit some blistering backhands. Certainly after the first set and a half, where he's pushing everything around. He's trying to have a go. Hit a winner, and he can. That's disappointing.
30-15.
He has been getting those forehands and hitting through them. That time just trying to block the ball down low. But in this set, whether he's getting tired or not, but in this set he hasn't made any of those. Letting Philippoussis off the hook. Oh.
40-15.
Well, somebody yelled out in the crowd.
Yelled out.
But it was definitely on the line. Whether it put Krajicek off or not, I'm not sure.
I don't think he's got the energy to complain about anything just at the moment. That second round match against James Blake, 11-9 in the fifth. 2 other matches as well. Been out here a long time today, and they've been off the court a couple of times. Krajicek is on automatic pilot.
Well, the tactic's working if he can get that return down.
5 games all, top set.
Blocking it down, but he has been, as it's getting colder and colder, The balls are just falling off the racket. They're not really zipping off when he's blocking it.
We've got here one of these late night Wimbledon matches which just builds and builds and builds and gets colder and colder and colder. McNamara, Felgate and Philippoussis left to right. Rogues Gallery. That's nice.
It's a deadly second shot of his. And the Aussies in the crowd can snip a break.
Love 15.
So deadly on the second shot if he gets a swing.
Well, top gear is engaged by Mark Philippoussis.
Love 30.
It's a knowledgeable crowd.
Thank
Love
you.
30. Perfect, Pat.
Might be 3 hours 20 minutes.
15-30.
Yeah, went in all right. 3 hours 20 minutes, but Krajicek is still getting into the net so close. Beautiful rhythm.
First serve.
Look how quickly he gets to the net. As you said, he's autopilot. This autopilot is very, very good when it comes to this part of the game. Oh, the miss hit. Made it tricky for Krajicek. Wasn't a half volley, complete half volley, wasn't a ground stroke. And now 2 break points for Philippoussis to serve for the match.
Philippoussis picked it. He was waiting for it. That's where Krajicek had gone at love 30.
30-14.
He still has to fight off another break point. He's enjoying his time in the limelight once again, and he's very welcome back.
Deuce.
That is a bullet.
It really is.
It's hit it out wide there as well. 125 miles. It's almost like he's not phased. Down 2 break points, I'll just come up with 2 big serves.
He's had children since he last played. He's been out so long. Amazing.
Grandchildren.
2-year-olds at home saying, that's my dad. He plays tennis. I didn't know that.
That's very true. He wouldn't have seen him play.
No.
It's been so effective, that serve.
Krajicek leads 6-5, 4th set. Philippoussis leads 2-1.
15-40 down. Gets to 30-40, smiles, shows a little bit of vulnerability, shows his enjoyment out there. There's no doubt the crowd are up for a 5th set in this one.
And serves a bomb. Absolute. And if you've got an action like we saw on replay, if that action's like that, it's so smooth, so perfect, that he's always going to be serving well. He might have a bad game or 2, but gradually his serve will come good, and it'll be there all day. And that's why he's just so very tough to beat.
Yeah, well, we mentioned how he beat. The Wombles are back. I think they were wearing Aussie shirts earlier on. I think the Wombles have defected. Well, there they are.
The Wombles of Earls Court, perhaps?
yeah, exactly. Yeah, the Earls Court part of London, that's where the Aussies land. Straight down the A4 from Heathrow.
Time.
Yeah, it's a lovely tennis match now. This is getting tense. Who will respond? I reiterate, Krajicek He's the only man to have beaten Sampras between 93 and 2000 at this tournament. He really knows what he's doing on a grass court. Must feel like coming home to him.
Well, I didn't lose to Sampras either for 8 years. Never played him once, but that's beside the point. I don't want to...
Philippoussis then. 5-6 in the fourth.
Minor detail.
$15. Left for serve. $30.
Odds on a fourth tiebreak in as many sets.
$40.
I think that's the view that Krajicek is taking at this point. Just watches Philippoussis' 22nd ace flyby, and 3 points for that breaker.
Philippoussis.
Well, here we go again, Pat.
Well, I didn't think there'd be 4 in a row. I think there might have been
6 games on.
one set, one without a tiebreaker.
Krajicek to open proceedings.
Krajicek.
In spite of these guys' big serves, every tiebreaker has been dominated by the winner. 7-2 for Philippoussis, the first one. Krajicek 7-4 and 7-1. Philippoussis again.
In other words, who gets off to a good start wins.
Almost like you say, it's this. For
2-0.
for really big
Krajicek.
occasions.
Well, that was a ball that Krajicek fancied on the forehand side. It came right into him.
2-1. Krajicek.
Moved his feet well. But in a tie break, there is no time for any disappointment. 2 points to 1 with the mini break, the Dutchman.
Krajicek.
He's back in it.
Well, not the cleanest hit, but it went where he meant it.
3-2, Krajicek.
Back on serve.
No one's getting away in this breaker.
Rio.
That's a tough shot to hit. He's right back behind the baseline, had no pace to use, had to generate it himself,
4-3,
and had to hit it perfectly. Look, Philippoussis is on that side of the court. He was waiting for anything that wasn't slightly perfect. Break, Krajicek.
Oh, that's just superb. He's moving like he's been playing full on for the last 20 months. He hasn't, of course. He hasn't hit a ball.
5-3,
This is a remarkable performance. Nice pick up after return as well. 5 points to 3. 2 points from levelling at 2 sets all.
Well, it's amazing under pressure. You just think that Krajicek is going to make a good, solid second serve and get in tight. It's such a good second serve. Philippoussis under pressure on the second serve. Could do anything. Here's the second serve. He'd a serve 127 miles an hour on the break point last set.
One opportunity gone. Coach Rowan Gertzke, who's been with him for 11 years of faithful service, watches on. And I have to tell you that there is a little bit of rain out there. It's the lightest of rain. Philippoussis is still facing 2 set points. Stefan Franzen at the back of the court will not want to call this at this point. This would be a terrible time to take the players off.
The players don't want to come off now. They just want to finish the tiebreaker. And it's fair for both players, really. And this could be finished with one big serve. 57% of his first serves have gone in. Let's see what he can do.
For Richard Krajicek, a wonderful performance, tremendous resilience out there under the greatest of pressure. And he's made it 2 sets all. You know what, Pat? There's no tie breaks in the 5th set. We're going to be here until Sunday.
Well, it gets dark, though. It gets dark at 9 o'clock. Crucial to get a good start.
2 sets all.
Get the first serves in and let the opponent have a go at it. Don't let the opponent see a second serve.
Ball was good. Pretty close to where we're talking about this match from, and that is a very fine start for Richard Krajicek. He's got something to work from now in this game. This is one of those times, Pat, where you don't want to be serving first in a final set because it's the first game of a new match.
Mind you, if I had a serve like Philippoussis, I wouldn't mind too much. Oh! Holy smoke, he picked that side.
Love 30.
Could have gone anywhere. He knows Philippoussis' favourite forehand is a cross-court one and just said, I'm going to go for that. Off he goes early. Oh, yeah.
Well. Third point. They've been waiting all day to get on court. And that was 135 miles an hour. Well, it's the 53rd game of the match,
40.
and it could be the game that decides the outcome of this fourth round match. Philippoussis serving at 2 break points down.
.40.
Well saved, Philippoussis.
Good second serve, wasn't that? Under pressure.
Deuce.
Plenty of work on it. Still hit it hard. Enough jump to force Krajicek into a bit of a miss hit.
Believe the tennis that I'm seeing on the resumption here. So much for working into the match gently.
Yeah, no time for that. And Krajicek, from halfway through the second set, has said, look, if I'm going to get a shot, chance to have a swing at it, I'm just going to hit it as hard as I can. And they've been going in. Another break point.
Let. Second serve.
That was a 127 mile an hour second serve. Nerves got the better of him. And Richard Krajicek
First game, final set.
is writing the script in this match. Rowan Gertzker, in the centre of your frame, has been with him for 11 years. One of the longest standing relationships between coach and player. The briefest nod of approval. What a start for Krajicek.
A great start. And we'll watch Krajicek come out here. He may not blast the ball as fast as Philippoussis. It's not slow by any means, but he'll have great variety.
Well, we've seen 2 breaks of serve in the opening 4 sets.
Love 30.
And it could be 2 in a row to start the 5th.
Good touch. Ball gets up high.
15-30.
Philippoussis didn't quite hit it as cleanly as you'd like. And Krajicek knew he was off balance and way behind the baseline. Good shot. Now that's where it helps to be 6'5".
30.
Good return from Philippoussis. Last 2 strings of the racket. And dribbles over. Oh, bit of luck that he had the point 1. He went the right way.
40-30.
He held it and held it and held it, didn't he? And then almost held it just a fraction too long.
And Krajicek, new balls, please.
Well, the last game with the old balls. He went
Balls in,
love
please.
30 down. Drop volley, stab volley, net cord, big serve.
Krajicek is
Fortune favours the bold.
And getting out a new racket for the new balls.
He's got a free game here, Pat. He can't have a swing now.
Yeah, pressure's all on Philippoussis. If Krajicek can get another couple of the second serves, have a swing at them, all of a sudden the pressure will really be on Philippoussis. And he's very good coming back, though, Philippoussis, after a down a break or serving out a set or a match. Very consistent. He'll rebound very well here.
$15 love. Left second serve.
That's a great lunge, drive, volley.
30 love.
Here he goes. Makes a bit of a swing here and snaps through it.
$40 love.
Krajicek just looking up to the heavens because it has started to rain here on number 1 court. Philippoussis is determined to finish this game.
40-15.
Oh, how frustrating is this? Been waiting almost 24 hours to get on, finish this last set off. It's drizzling. It's just drizzling. It's not raining heavily. Ground staff already.
And Krajicek continues to exert this pressure. Philippoussis wants to get out of the game, but he's not going to have the opportunity because here they come again. And I suspect this will be the last time the court is covered for the day. 10-8 on Wednesday. Still locked in battle, Philippoussis Krajicek. It's the Dutchman with the break of serve in the deciding set. I bet you would.
Every night at 9:30 p.m, exclusive to Challenge.
Crowd who are trying to make this into Australia Day. It's late in Wednesday night, fourth round match. Philippoussis serving 2-4 down in the fifth. And the tennis on this court has been such a bonus for the fans who have stuck it out all day. Many of them will have queued overnight to get in today. Philippoussis trying to get himself back into this decider.
Philippoussis.
Well, you've got to say that
Krajicek leads 4 games to 3. Final set.
since the second phase of the of this final set, Krajicek, Philippoussis has come out a better player. He's really pressured Krajicek twice on his serve. He's held his serve easily, but the problem was the first time they came out, Krajicek was hot, blasting a few good shots, and of course the Philippoussis double fault always helps to break serve.
Yeah, brief resume. Philippoussis was a set and a break-up when they took to the court on Tuesday. It was originally scheduled for Monday. Krajicek got back into it, made it 1-set-all. They split the next 2 tie breaks as well. Philippoussis served the first game of this decider, and Krajicek came out and just wiped the floor with him. But Philippoussis has twice had love 30 on the Krajicek serve since his own serve was broken. So you're right, Pat, he is exerting the pressure, and with the crowd behind him, can he convert? Time is running out.
We've got lots of stats up on the board here that we can look at, but they're all pointless really, apart from the 5th set stat.
4-3.
Oh dear. Well, there's no half pace with this guy.
15-all.
He doesn't want He doesn't want to mess around. As I said, there's no real middle shot backhand return for Krajicek. It's almost a bit of a holding his breath. It's going to be a winner or a miss. There's the miss.
30-15.
Boy, that gets up that serve, Krajicek. He uses his height so well. Not overly extended on the knee bend. Perfect height.
Philippoussis being kept on the back foot because Krajicek is, well, he's being what he is, the consummate professional here. Going back behind Philippoussis with the first volley. He is a sound grass quarter. 4 hours up on the match. Quietly having kittens, watching his man.
40-30.
Well, we've seen it all before. I think he probably needed that 20-month rest to recover or to prepare himself for this match.
Yeah, they almost called it quits 6 weeks ago. Krajicek was that depressed. Was the time to get the ball back into play.
Yeah, it's going to go back. It's going to go like a bullet. He's decided to come out and have a go at everything. Now he's pushing the ball back. And so live by the sword, die by the sword.
Philippoussis then serving to stay in the match.
$15.
Well, he wants to make Krajicek serve it out. Average speed in this set of Philippoussis is 130 miles an hour. Average.
Cleanly struck, but long. And they will not be deterred. It's been a long day.
Krajicek leads 5-4, final set.
A long day, but one final effort now required from Mark Philippoussis. There's no point saying he should play percentage tennis here. He's got to do what he knows is right for him. So he is going to have a swing. Krajicek would be well advised to keep that first serve percentage up if he can in this game. This is all about percentages, isn't it, Pat? Closing out something like this.
Well, Krajicek's done it. He's been here a million times before. He's incredibly professional. The fact that he hasn't done it for 20 months is certainly a factor. You know, he's going to be tight. We'll see how Krajicek reacts when he's tight. I know what Philippoussis will do. When he's nervous, he subconsciously knows, just keep hitting out. Hit the ball as hard as you can.
Thank you.
Serving for the match, the 1996 champion.
15 love.
Nice fastest serve of this set. Nice time to have it.
Well, it's a game of inches, and Philippoussis had that backhand return where he wanted it. But the
13
stark
love.
reality now for that camp is that their man is 2 points from going out of the championships.
The camp's feeling pretty good. Tell you what, be feeling pretty good too. 40 love of my boy Richard Krajicek, the greatest service we've ever seen in the game of tennis. Ready to pound down another serve. Ooh, very tight. Krajicek's relatives there. He's ready to jump up.
This is to 2. 6-7, 7-6, 6-7, 7-6, 6-4.
Well, what a match here, finishing late in the evening. It was scheduled for Monday. It started yesterday and it is finished after 9 o'clock tonight. But Richard Krajicek is through to the quarterfinals. The former champion will be back on court tomorrow, no doubt. We'll be rushing for the ice packs now. So a busy day tomorrow. Ladies semi-finals, men's quarterfinals. We'll begin our live coverage from noon. Do join us then. For now, though, good night.